What's up, Buzz Squad? It's your boy Dalton, back at it again with some more deck profile goodness for you. Today, we got the Plague back here. Hopefully, I can get it off just right, so it's turn one. Let's get into it. All right, it's time to get into this sickening deck that I have here. The buddy is the misspelt Grimoire. I don't understand how Bushi could have messed that up, but fantastic card. It's basically a Rubeless that can hit, which is fantastic, and it's not once per turn, and it's draw power, which is what Plague needs. Not a lot, but hopefully it's enough. That's basically all I gotta say. Ooh. We got 3 decays. Decay just searches out your item and then puts a card into the soul when you cast a Plague spell and gains you life. You basically turn into a tanking deck because you have one goal in mind and you plan to get there. Very simple. 2 OG Yersinieas as well, just because you want to have that overkill just in case you somehow don't have enough gauge to cast Pandemic, but it's right there. And then also you can cast spells out of its soul, which is nice. And then one of the delightful enjoyment, Chaos Yersinieas. It's basically OG except without the overkill, which is nice. And then it also becomes a size 0, so you can keep it on board with the one of the other two as well and just go to town. Three of the buddy, pretty straightforward. Becomes a size 0 as well. Protects your items from being destroyed and bounced, and the whole gain soul on attack and then life and draw. Very simple. 2 of my Death Plague casters. Basically just search out your spells with him by milling out the top 3. Just because your spells are super important for this deck and you want to make sure you can see them. And maybe if somehow you don't get your item too, you can grab the item, but you really use it for gaining spells. 3 of the tomes. You need it. If you're not running it, you're playing a really weird version of Plague. That's all I gotta say. Very simple. And one of your other draw cards, even though it's kind of weak on that sense, but strong at the same time. 4 of the new Infection Hazard. It protects your Plague spells from being nulled. So everyone who's playing against Plague, if your opponent's trying to cast this card, and you can nullify it. Otherwise, you're in a world of hurt. Because Plague then goes into Solitaire. Very simple. And then when you cast a spell, you can choose up to 1 Plague monster item on your field. Drop the top card of your deck. If the drop card is a Plague spell, you may put it into that chosen card's soul. Really helps. Also, you can set multiple. So with this, you can potentially go turn 1 World Pandemic. Hopefully. For diagnosis, you want to search out your Yersinieas and cards like that. 4 outbreaks to bring back stuff from the drop. 4 ATs, you only nullify that you really want to run. Puts itself into the soul, draws you a card, and then it deals damage, so you have that burn going. 3 incubation periods. Just basic, check top 2 if they're both spells put into soul, which is muy bonito. You only run like 10, 11 monsters anyways. So fantastic card. 3 Godspeed Learning, gauge and draw. The more I look through this deck, I'm realizing there's so much more draw power in it than I suspected, but not enough at the same time. But still, needs to be ran. 3 Infector to protect your things, and then when it's in soul, you throw a card into your gauge at the start of turn, and then it also puts itself into the soul as well after being casted, which is important. 3 Toxins, the only Plague spell that you can cast multiples of without having to worry about it saying once per turn. Gains gauge and life, which is fantastic. So cool. And then when it's in the soul, of a card, this card cannot be nullified, basically. So it's nice. 2 of the win con. World Pandemic, very simple pace 6, flip your opponent's flag face down. They basically can't play Buddyfight at that point. Unless they have Lost World or Chaos the Infinity. Then you do it again. 2 lectures just because you still want that draw power, and it's pretty much the only reason why. 2 Enigma Virus, you want to stop all that effect calling that's out there in the game right now. Only 2 though, because I feel like it's also kind of fading out, but keep the 2 in just to be safe. And then 2 Abracadabras to protect your set spell from being nulled. Point blank. That wraps it up for this deck profile. It was pretty dang fast, so make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, so you don't miss out on the next fast deck profile. You can support us on Patreon. You can check us out on Discord. You can also go to our shop if you want to buy some merch too. I lost my train of thought. You can follow us on Instagram too. And above all else, stay classy, y'all.